What's up guys, my name is Ace, and Season 3 of Modern Warfare 3 brought 3 brand new vests to the game. And these are the Compression Carrier, the Modular Assault Rig, and then finally the Gunslinger Vest. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a deep breakdown of all of these. However, most of the video will be focused on the Compression Carrier, since that's the one that requires more of a breakdown to really understand all of the ins and outs of that vest, whereas the other ones, they're pretty self-explanatory. So diving right in, let's cover the easiest one first. This is the Modular Assault Rig, and with this one, the first element of it is you deploy with maximum ammo for all primary weapons and pistols, so basically everything but launchers. You will spawn in with the maximum amount of ammo that you can carry for those guns, which is excellent. But then on top of this, you can resupply lethals and tacticals from dead players. And this one isn't 100% clear on how this works, but essentially it works like a scavenger pack. So when you kill an enemy player, they will drop a pack on the ground, and this pack will regenerate 1 tactical and 1 lethal for you up until you reach your maximum carry amount. Which, by the way, with this vest, you actually get 2 of each on spawn, and that's your maximum carry amount. Although with throwing knives, while you spawn with 2, you can technically hold 3 while using this vest. Also, it is worth noting we get a field upgrade with this, as well as 1 set of gloves, 1 pair of boots, and a gear slot. But circling back to picking up the pack itself, I just wanted to clarify with this since the description isn't crystal clear. It mentions you resupply from dead players, and it doesn't specify, but you may have assumed this already. This only works for players that you kill. This doesn't work for players that your teammates have killed. It doesn't work for your teammates' bodies either. You have to kill that player in order for them to drop this pack for you to pick up. And then also, just wanted to clarify as well, when you pick this pack up, it's not also working as scavenger, so you're not getting any ammo from this. You're only getting a lethal and a tactical. So there we go, that is the Modular Assault Rig, and like I said, most of that is pretty self-explanatory. Now, let's move on to the Compression Carrier, and we'll once again just go point by point here. The first thing it says is you immediately regenerate health after a primary, secondary, or throwing knife / star kill, and objective captures will also trigger health regeneration. And let's first have a look at that health regeneration and exactly what happens, because based on this description, it sounds like you heal instantly. The moment you get the kill, you're back up to full health, and that's not actually the case. So in the game's current state, our base healing delay without this vest is 3 seconds. So after 3 seconds of not taking damage, this is when you start healing, and then you will heal at a rate of 75 HP per second, meaning if you took like 140 damage, which is a lot of damage, it'll take you a total of 4.9 seconds to get back up to full health. Whereas with the Compression Carrier, the moment this triggers, so the moment you get your kill or your capture, which we'll look at what you have to do when it comes to captures as well in just a little bit, but the moment that happens, you'll see a little plus icon pop up on the screen. This will immediately trigger your healing delay, so it's a 0-second trigger. However, we do still have the standard healing rate at 75 HP per second, meaning if we once again took 140 damage, from the moment you get your kill or objective capture, it's going to take you 1.9 seconds to get back up to full health, so very noticeably faster than the base healing time, and that's obviously going to be very helpful after winning a gunfight where you took damage. Next, I do want to compare this with the other items that affect your health regeneration, but before we do that, today's video is sponsored by Manscaped with 2 incredible grooming products. We've got the Beard Hedger Beard Trimmer, as well as the Handyman Compact Face Shaver. And let's start this off with the one that I'll be using the most to keep this ginger beard in check. This is the Beard Hedger Beard Trimmer with a titanium-coated stainless steel T-blade that effortlessly glides through facial hair. And this is the thing I noticed right away. When I tried this the first time, I'm used to my trimmer taking like 3 or 4 passes to get everything all cleaned up. With the Beard Hedger, the first time I used it, I was really surprised to see that all it took was 1 good pass to take care of everything. Another thing I really like about it is it has 20 different length settings from 0.5mm all the way up to 10mm with a really convenient zoom wheel that makes it really easy to find that perfect length, and it locks into place nicely so it's never going to move on you in the middle of a trim. Now, if you're looking for a closer, smoother finish, this is where the Handyman Compact Face Shaver comes in. And this one features Manscaped's skin-safe technology to help reduce the risk of those nicks and cuts. And it actually has 2 different blades on it. It's got the standard foil shaver for a really smooth finish, as well as a long hair leveler blade. And just like with the Beard Hedger, the Handyman is not only waterproof, it also has a battery life of up to 60 minutes. So if you're interested in taking your facial grooming to the next level, make sure you visit manscaped.com and use the code TXA20 at checkout to get 20% off your order. Big thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. Alright, so getting back to it, let's have a look at that comparison, and I first want to compare this to the med box, because in Season 2, the med box got a huge buff for health regeneration, and the way it works is when you pick up that med box, until you die, your new healing delay is 1 second, and this applies all the time. Unlike the Compression Carrier where you have to get a kill to trigger that health regeneration, this is your new base health regeneration until you die, and then it resets, and you can use another med box after that. Now, it does have the same healing rate as the base healing and the compression carrier at 75 HP per second, meaning our total regen time is slower than the compression carrier at 2.9 seconds. But like I said, this is a lot more versatile since it's working all the time. You don't need to get a kill or capture an objective here. Then on top of that, I'm not going to get too deep into these, but I thought I'd throw the data up for the Stim Shot and Battle Rage, which it is worth noting, Battle Rage is kind of like the compression carrier, but it only works for a limited period of time since it's a piece of equipment, so it's obviously a lot less versatile than the compression carrier. And with that, we can now move into what exactly triggers this health regeneration. Now, we already know that kills will trigger that. That one's pretty self-explanatory. However, it also says capturing an objective will trigger this. And it turns out this isn't nearly as forgiving with objectives as Quick Fix was in Modern Warfare 2. So let's start off with Domination. In Modern Warfare 2, in Domination, all you had to do was touch the capture area of any flag and it would trigger your Quick Fix. But in this game, with the compression carrier, you have to actually capture the domination flag for that to trigger. So standing on it isn't going to be enough. It's only the moment that you get the capture that will trigger the health regeneration. Then in Hardpoint, I was very surprised to find that the objective just doesn't do anything with the compression carrier. You can be standing directly on the hardpoint, that doesn't trigger your health regeneration. You can capture a new hardpoint or a hardpoint that was previously contested. That also doesn't trigger your health regeneration. You will only be able to trigger this in Hardpoint based on my testing by getting a kill. Then after that, I tested Kill Confirm, thinking that if you pick up a tag, that would trigger your health regeneration when using this vest. And it turns out, unfortunately, this isn't the case. Grabbing a tag, whether that's an enemy tag or a friendly tag, it doesn't trigger your health regeneration with the compression carrier. So again, in this mode, you have to get a kill to trigger that. And then finally, I tested the control game mode, and what I found with control is simply touching the objective area doesn't do anything. However, if you're on the attacking side and you're capturing that objective, you essentially have 3 different chunks of each objective that you have to capture. And every time you hit one of those checkpoints or those milestones, that will count as a capture, and at that point, it will trigger your health regeneration when using the compression carrier. So the objective element of the compression carrier only really works in very limited situations in Domination and in Control, which is a pretty massive nerf from Modern Warfare 2's Quick Fix. In some ways, though, I think this is a good thing because it would often lead to a lot of inconsistent situations where people would feel like they just had to pump so many rounds into somebody and they couldn't figure out why, and it was simply because they had Quick Fix and they were standing on an objective without having to actually fully capture that objective. So it's primarily only going to be working for you when you get kills on enemy players. And I should also mention, assists will not trigger this as well. It has to be a kill. And with that, that's just the health regeneration effects that we get from the compression carrier. Let's move on to the second point here, and this is it reduces the strength of enemy flash, stun, and gas grenades, and I might as well cover the next point as well. You will also have full immunity to shock, EMP, and snapshot grenades, which both of these elements are the same as Tac Mask, and I did the testing on this, and it works exactly the same as Tac Mask. It has the exact same strength as far as I can tell. And then, of course, they do mention here the duplicate effects don't stack, and if you do have Tac Mask on, combined with a compression carrier, it will instead give you the effects of EOD padding. And this just leaves us with the restrictions that come with using the compression carrier. And the 2 main restrictions here are we don't get a tactical piece of equipment, we don't get a field upgrade, which is a pretty big trade-off, and also we just get 1 pair of gloves, 1 pair of boots, as well as 1 gear slot. So there we go, that's the compression carrier, and that was the one I was looking forward to most with this season. However, honestly, after doing all this testing and looking at the trade-offs with this vest, it's not quite as good as I was hoping it would be. And honestly, I don't see myself using this all that much now that it's available in the game. I do think our base health regeneration improved very nicely with Season 2, meaning we don't really need something like Quick Fix as much as I thought we did back before they buffed that base healing. And then on top of that, the med box I consider to be generally better than the compression carrier, since it's working in all situations where you take damage, rather than just the situations where you also get a kill after taking damage. And with that, let's cover the last of the 3 new vests that they added with Season 3. This is the Gunslinger Vest, which is very interesting because we get 2 secondary weapons, so no primaries available while using this. And the first sort of perk that's attached to it is it will refresh your stamina after a primary, secondary, or throwing knife kill. So that means you can get right back into tac sprinting with full stamina again. Then they mention it improves our reload speed, and I went in to do the testing here to see if this was any different from the mag holster gear, and it turns out it isn't, so it just awards you with mag holster on your class without having to use mag holster. And it is also worth noting, this still works for you if you pick up a primary weapon, so you can start with 2 secondaries, and then just pick up somebody's primary, you'll still have this mag holster perk. On top of that, we are able to reload while sprinting, just like one of the gloves. It also increases our weapon swap speed by a minimum of 40%, just like the quick grip gloves do now. So you're getting the benefits of quick grip gloves with this as well. And then finally, you deploy with maximum ammo for your pistols. So it won't give you maximum ammo for your launchers, but it will for your pistols. And then of course, any of these perks in this list that overlap with any of the existing perks in the game, their duplicate effects won't stack, and you will be given the effects of a different perk instead, just like with all of the vests that have duplicate effects. Now, when it comes to our class structure while using this, like I said, we get 2 secondary weapons, no ability to use a primary. We get 2 tactical equipment, 1 lethal equipment, a field upgrade, 1 pair of gloves, 1 pair of boots, and 2 gear slots attached to this as well. So this is actually a pretty cool vest if you want to do something weird like run around with just a pistol, for instance. I know a lot of people have wanted the ability to have 2 secondaries for quite some time, and this will allow you to do that. And honestly, I think this is actually a pretty great vest if you don't mind either using a secondary or picking up somebody else's primary. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for today's video on the 3 brand new vests that were added with Season 3 to Modern Warfare 3. And overall, I was very surprised that they added 3 in one season. I was kind of expecting just like 1 vest per season from here on out. And I do think all of these are nice additions to the game, even though I don't really see myself using them quite as much as my usual vest, which is Engineer. Now, of course, I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about these vests in those comments down below. Now that you guys have seen the breakdown and had some time to play with them, are you going to be using these on any sort of a consistent basis? Or not so much? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.